I'm Paulina Leiser, producer of Focus Today. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to check our other videos at theDove.us.
All right, welcome back to Focus Today. Hey, delight to have back with us Josh Bernstein. He's a political expert, author, speaker. He has a Phoenix-based talk show and frequently guests. And, of course, he always makes it to the big time when he's here on the Dove. And you can check him out at joshbernsteinpoliticalwriter.com is his website. That's joshbernsteinpoliticalwriter.com. How you doing, bud? Good to see you.
I'm doing great. Great to be back with you.
Where's the big flag? Where's the big flag, man? It's always behind you.
I've been doing so many interviews, to be honest with you. I didn't have enough time to drag out the background like I normally do. And plus, I'm on a different computer, and so hopefully we won't have any issues with any of the sound and stuff. So
you're looking good. You're looking good. All right, now, are the Amish engaged in this political cycle?
Can you believe it? You know, the last time that the Amish have ever supported a candidate was Williams Jennings Bryan in 1896, and he was a Democrat. Since then, they have really shunned the political landscape for the most part. They do vote every now and then. It's not totally against their religion, but it is certainly frowned upon. Well, a couple of weeks ago, Donald Trump smartly was in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, in the Dutch country, Amish country. And there was a lot of Amish that showed up, with Trump signs and Trump buttons and things like that. And what's interesting is that because of, I would say, the dire straits of our country, they are now getting more involved into the political process. There are 270,000 Amish in America. They are spread sporadically throughout the United States, and there are about 68,000 in Ohio. There are 69,000 in Pennsylvania, and there's about 50 or 51,000 in Indiana. The rest of the states, there's a 17,000 in New York, and Florida's got like 250, so that's not really an issue or a difference. However, if you take 20 to 25,000 of those, considering that they're men and women of voting age, that could possibly be a big difference that maybe people aren't thinking about in a tight election in Pennsylvania and in Ohio, because the heads of and leadership, if you will, of the Amish community got together a couple of weeks ago and had a meeting, the American Amish Association. I don't know if those are the exact initials or not, but they decided to get together and say, you know what, this is too important of an election. We're actually going to support Donald Trump. There's big signs in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, on the side of the road to vote for Trump, and showing where you can go to register and the time and deadlines and things like that. So they are engaged. They are politically engaged this time, and who knows, in a tight election could remain to be the spoiler.
That is absolutely fascinating. So what draws them to Trump? I mean, the last time was the 1800s. They went for a Democrat. Of course, a Democrat back there is a whole lot different than a Democrat today. But what draws them to Trump? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, I think it's the fact that he's a builder. He's a businessman. He's someone that wants to protect the rural communities of America. He wants to make sure that we're bringing jobs back. I know that they don't get an opportunity to be on social media nearly as much as everybody else, but I think that they understand the depths of the corruption and cronyism in Washington, in particular Hillary Clinton. And I think that they want a different future for their families as well. So we'll see what happens. It could be a very interesting twist to know that maybe in a close race that the Amish actually put Trump over the top.
Especially in Pennsylvania. Man, that's big. Hey, Josh, so what's the feel from your radio show? What do you think's happening? You're down there in Arizona, a little tight down there. Got a feel for it?
I don't believe it's tight here at all. As a matter of fact, I think that he's handedly winning here, which we'll find out here pretty soon. But I break this election down into 4 categories. I think that you have the die-hard, rabid Donald Trump supporters that would do anything for Donald Trump and are motivated to go out and vote for him. Then you have almost an equally die-hard anybody but Hillary crowd that would do just about anything to make sure that she is not president. Then you have Hillary supporters, yawn, And then you have what are known as never Trumpers, which, by the way, is a very, very tiny group. So if you break it down into those four, I would presume to think, at least from this standpoint, that the pro-Trump, never Hillary enthusiasm, passion, and get out the vote is probably going to be more intense than the Hillary supporters and the never Trumpers. But again, we'll see what happens. I certainly don't believe any of the polls. I believe that Trump, is either even and or winning in most of these states. And we're going to find out here pretty soon what ends up happening. I also believe that Hillary Clinton, when she first started to run, she had 46% support. She's never been anywhere close to 50. After the DNC WikiLeaks came out and destroyed their convention, she dropped down to 40%. When the WikiLeaks started to come out more and more and more, she dropped down to about 37, 38%. And now with Project Veritas having people see and hear all the corruption behind the scenes, she's down to a solid 33%, meaning that she could literally go out there and, kill kittens and still 33% of people will support her. Meanwhile, Donald Trump started at about 38, 39% after winning the primary and the nomination, and he's risen all the way up to 56 to 58%. So if that holds true and we can keep the voter fraud in check, we should have a good outcome come November 8th.
One thing that WikiLeaks has done, it's shown what we all suspected to be a level of corruption beyond our ability to comprehend. Now the never Trumpers or establishment Republicans are looking at, wait a minute, if Hillary wins, does my anti-Trump tag me as being part of that corruption in a surrogate way? So we're starting to see at some of these never Trumpers, we're starting to see some of these establishment Republicans come around and say, you know what, Trump's certainly the better choice. Do you think that will build over the next week?
Well, I think it already has. And I think that people understand the danger and, the depths of depravity that a Hillary Clinton would put forth as president. I mean, we've seen all these different scandals that have happened to her, and now we know all the way up to the top that Barack Obama knew about the email leaks. We knew that the State Department was in on it. We knew that the FBI was in on it. So it's really us versus the political class, and I think that there's enough of us that are going to go out there and make sure that she doesn't win. And I'll tell you this, the 33,000 emails that she deleted, I have sources that say come November 1st, the first 1,500 to 2,000 of those are going to drop, and they will continue to drop all the way up until November 8th. And I'll add one more tidbit here. The National Enquirer is about to release a story that they say would make the Corleone crime family look like amateurs.
All right, so they have gotten away with it up until this point. And we don't know what's going to happen beyond this point. If she gets elected, pray God she doesn't, but if she does a Trey Gowdy type in Congress have any hope of going after her, or is it done?
No, not at all. And for the folks that are still on the fence, if you really want to see this woman excoriated and thrown in prison, your only chance of having her be held for the crimes that she has committed is through a Trump Justice Department. It will not happen any other way. So again, just more motivation to go out there and vote for Trump. And I would do it on the 7th and the 8th. And if you're in a state that has the Smartmatic George Soros run and own machines, you still have time to go out there and get an absentee ballot and fill it out, take a picture of it. Some states allow it, some states don't. And then do not mail it in. Instead, walk it in on the 7th or the 8th so that your vote cannot be changed or compromised.
Very good advice. Very good advice. Well, the numbers show a very tight race. I've had our other people say that it's going to still be a blowout in favor of Trump. And yet the alphabet networks are saying you might as well just give up and not vote now because Hillary's 14%. All of this done by a media that has less than a 6% approval rating in the United States. Who do you believe? Do you believe any of this stuff?
No, not at all. And, not to toot my own horn, but when everybody in the media was saying that there was going to be a contested convention, I went out publicly and I said, you have a better chance of seeing Barack Obama in Sunday church reading the Constitution than seeing a contested convention. Once it wasn't a contested convention, I also said that he was going to win by more than 1,400 delegates. I was correct in that as well. So all the media pundits on the left and the right that were saying it's a foregone conclusion were completely wrong. I've said all along that he's been winning this race, and I believe that he has. And I believe this, the only reason or way that Donald Trump could possibly lose is through massive voter fraud. She does not have the support, nor the enthusiasm, nor the numbers, to be honest with you. When you see polls that show independents plus 20, plus 22, plus 26 in some cases in favor of Donald Trump, this is a 40-40-20 election like they all are. 40% Trump, 40% Clinton. It's the 20% in the middle. What are they going to do? They're more than likely going to go out in droves and vote for Donald Trump. And actually, it's really not 40-40 anymore. I think it's 50 for Trump, and I think it's about 30-33 for Hillary. And that 20% in the middle, the majority of that should go for Trump. So we will see what happens. As I said, there's already talk about the Clinton campaign meeting with the head of the Board of Elections in Broward County, Florida, in a private door meeting without the press. Who knows what they're talking about there? So we need the bikers for Trump out there in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Florida, and they need to be out within 3 to 4 days of Election Day, canvassing, making sure that things are not going awry, making sure that nothing is happening, making sure that the fraud is not there, making sure that there's not busloads and minivans full of illegal aliens being dropped off. This is a very, very serious time in our history, and we've got to get this one right.
Boy, you make a lot of good points there. I read something yesterday, just to play off a word you used, that there just isn't the enthusiasm there for Hillary. And yet most Americans, 67%, think she's a liar, and the enthusiasm just isn't there. And it's enthusiasm that you need to effectively pull off voter fraud.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think there's a certain part of validity to that statement, without a doubt. But here's what Hillary Clinton is doing right now. Obviously, she has the entire media in her back pocket. And whatever she does, I mean, she's literally the editor of the New York Times, let's face it. So what's happening now is that they were allowed to lie and say that she was up by 12, 14% points in order to suppress Republican turnout. But the thing is that these polling organizations, if they want to remain in business and they want to remain relevant, they have to come back to their senses, back to reality, and get out of Disneyland and start showing the real true numbers, which they're starting to do. And I believe that closer to Election Day, you'll start to see the polls that are normally saying that she's, way ahead, not only show that it's tied and or +3, +4, +5 in Trump's favor. You'll never see the media show a +10, a +9, a +12 poll, because they can't. So what they'll do is they'll show +3, +4, +5 towards the end, and they'll say, well, look, see, we were close enough. We want to remain relevant and still in business. That's how it works.
All right, Josh, good to see you again, my friend. Keep up the good work. Stay in the fight, buddy.
I will. God bless.
All right, God bless. We'll be right back.